Manchester United. Manchester United. I guess we're live. Pinch me. Am I awake? Is this the second curse? Second half curse, we do it again. I mean, how long is a piece of string? How long do we have to learn that 2-0 is the most dangerous score that you can ever have in football, especially when you go 2-0 up? I see a similarity what we did against Sevilla, but this time was at home turf and Old Trafford. We know that our away form is atrocious, and Spurs was there for the taking, considering the sacking of Conte, the sacking of the interim manager Stellini after only 4 games in charge, and then you have another interim and a lot of injuries in terms of Hugo Lloris being missing, and the goalkeeper is kind of a little bit of a untested. We saw shots on target was taken beautifully. I must say that first half was not a bad first half. It was actually quite brilliant. They looked toothless, to be honest, but we didn't capitalize on the first half. We went a little bit complacent. I don't know what the team talk was in the second half, but it's clear and obvious that the second half bogey and the complacency in the players' mind at the moment, barring that we played 31 Premier League games, and just to add on the extra miles, like we are collecting frequent flyer points in extra miles. We played FA Cup, we played Carabao Cup, we played Europa League. It's been brutal, but we're coming to the end of the crescendo. And I always said that I don't care how you play the football. We need to win these games. Is Premier League top four in danger? No, it's not, because obviously we have 2 more games. Spurs have two more games played than us, and we have to play catch up. Right? We are 2 points behind Newcastle, who has played 1 more game than us. In fairness, but the mentality, I don't get it. I didn't get the second half at all. It was a 2 games in 2 halves. When the first half we were dominating the possession, and then in the second half we switched to Spurs. We invited pressure. We set back in the first half. Why? Why did we do so? Why did we sub out Jadon Sancho, who was clear and obvious, providing energy on that left hand side, providing threat? Why did we sub up? So I don't know. I just don't know why. What did we just see here? To call a spade, instead of just you listening to me rant, I'm going to invite my guest, Mr. Jay Daly. Hello, Jay. How are you doing, mate?
Mick, good evening.
Good evening, sir. As I was deluded, Jay, this is the second half brain fart from Manchester United, where we've seen before.
Mick, um, our players are absolute charlatans,
Tell me.
overpaid charlatans. Like, okay, where do we start? Obviously, you've discussed the fact that we're leading 2 at half time. We're playing a Spurs team with Newcastle players that the great Jose Mourinho couldn't get a tune out of. You
True.
know, Conte couldn't get a tune out of them. Like, two legend managers in the game could not get a tune out of those players. And the current caretaker manager, he's going to be there. He's going to be gone in May. They're 2-0 down at home. And second half, we just set back and literally, it was like leaving the door open and inviting
Right.
in the robbers to steal your goods. We
To steal your
literally
silverware.
set
Yeah,
back,
true.
opened the door, and as the robbers were in, taking our TV and our PlayStations and our laptops, we made them a cup of tea as well to make them feel more welcome.
You can take whatever you want, but don't take my PlayStation, please.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
yeah, but right. So I heard you mention there about Anthony coming off and Jadon Sancho. Like, this is the first game in probably since last October that I saw Sancho, first of all, track back,
Yeah.
secondly, string some passes together, And thirdly, the first time I saw Sancho basically try in months, he's taken
Yeah.
off.
I
Anthony,
didn't get it. I did not get the
I didn't get that
substitutions.
at all. Anthony, who I've got a lot of time for, he's not the finished product. Yeah, we acknowledge that. But he will try for every minute of every game. Yeah, he make mistakes, but he will run his bollocks off for you. He's a little terrier. He'll put a tackle in, he'll track back. I know he's one footed, but at least he will try. Tonight, then, we had the return of the old Marcus Rashford. The Marcus
Mhm.
Rashford, now he scored a goal, so the English media will not pick up on this. Other fan channels will not pick up on either because he's English and fed some fat kids during lockdown, so they won't call it out. The old Marcus Rashford, before this season, let's remember, gets the ball to feet. It's like watching my 10-year-olds play. It's like suddenly to have the ball. They don't look up, they don't scan, they don't pass. All they want to do is dribble. Ultimately, when they dribble, I'm talking about my 10-year-olds, they run into the defender or they lose possession or fall on their arse. Tonight, that was Marcus Rashford. Or
Yeah.
then they shoot from stupid angles that they're not going to score from. But the
Yeah.
commentators, of course, don't pick up on it because Marcus fed some fat kids in London and Manchester during lockdown. Whoopie fucking do. He
Whoopsie
was
daisy.
terrible tonight.
I
Okay?
find it very strange. Yeah, because I sent
Now,
out the link.
Fred comes on.
Oh,
Oh my God, Fred.
days.
Fred could not pass water. He couldn't cross himself. The amount of fucking, I'm going to curse, Mick. You've never heard me rant properly on a show. The
Go
amount
ahead.
of misplaced passes from fucking Fred when he came on. An absolute liability. Now, Fred, he's had some good games and we've given him credit when he's had good games, but he come on, hit himself coming on and Martial coming on and Veghorst changed the game. And while the first 2 minutes of the second half, the burglars were in stealing our goods in our sitting room. Meanwhile, their friends came in the back door, went upstairs, and went through our drawers as well.
They had a happy meal at the second half, to be honest, you
Jeez,
know?
Mick, it was horrendous. Now, I know people will probably say in the comments, "Oh, Jay, calm down. We're still going to get top four." Blah 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 blah. Mick, we don't deserve top four. We don't deserve top four. We're not top four side. Do you honestly
Well, I
believe,
think,
Mick, after tonight, we're top four side?
I don't know what
Oh
went
no, the
on, but
table will say we
it
are,
was,
but I think we're good enough.
I know, the first half for me was like, I was confident. We were cruising, we were having control. They were wide open. They were there for the takings. They were wide open in the mid. We find spaces. Bruno's ball. I mean, the ball of the match, according to my opinion, was Bruno's through ball to Rashford when he found his feet, and Rashford just accelerated like it was a FIFA. Like, and you press that X button, and you get the acceleration, and he just smashed it past Forrester. That was one of the best balls I've seen of the season. I mean, that was beautiful, right? And Sancho's goal, I mean, I was confident. I went out for a coffee, had a little bit of a cigarette, had a little bit of thought, but still I had that butterfly feeling in my stomach, like something is off, right? Something it ain't right. We didn't look like, confident enough. And what happened in the second half is what I said. It was a game of two halves. I did not believe what I saw. Like, if you're comparing to the first half to the second, it just like what you said. We just came out there. We had all the silverware, we had all the gold, and we just invited them. We opened door policy. Here, take my silverware, take my PlayStation, take my McDonald's and my Happy Meal, and even you can take my dessert at the end of the day, right? And I had a score prediction of 3-1, and that almost happened because what I say, the 2-0 in football is the most dangerous result in
Agreed.
football,
Agreed.
especially in the first half. You're 2-0 up. What happens mentally is that you go complacent. Yeah, we got this, boys. Just keep the ball, invite a little bit of pressure. Let's relax. And I kind of felt that in the second half, Jay, that let's rest a bit. Let them invite pressure. Let them have the ball. But I did not get the substitution was wrong. Why did you take off Wan-Bissaka? For one stage I had Wan-Bissaka pinned down as the man of the match because he
Yeah,
basically he
he
had
had Perisic in his back pocket.
yeah, yeah, and
Perisic.
Son.
and Song. Yeah, they got no persure on Wan-Bissaka at all. So when Malacia came on, and I know young player, we're not going to go too hard on him, but for the cross, the pass that Kane put in, he was woefully out of position with Kane.
Yeah.
Now Kane is a man in his 30s. Harry Kane was never a speedster, even in his 20s. So Kane beat him for pace, but he got him for pace because he was woefully badly positioned to track Kane first and foremost.
Yeah.
And that's this we have to call it Ten Hag tonight. Substitutions by Eric Ten Hag tonight cost
Shocking.
us that game.
It did.
Compounded with the weak mentality players. As you said, Mick, and you're spot on in your analysis. 2-0 is the okay. It's great to be up 2-0, of course, but at 2-0, you do not switch off. The first 10-15 minutes of the second half, logic would tell anybody, and say even rugby, like my other sport, American football, second half, you've got a lead. Come out the first 10 minutes and play the first 10 minutes as it is the last 10 minutes of the game. The home team are going to come out buoyed by their fans. They've got a bollocking from their manager. They've got a bollock from the coaches. They have to come out. They have to give it a go. Do you tell your players the first 10 minutes of this game is crucial? Play it like the last 10 minutes. We played the first 10 minutes tonight like it was a training game. It's like we're kicking around with our mates. No, don't tackle him. You hurt him. He's got work in the morning. Don't put a tackle in. That's what it was like. Nobody was tackling first 10 minutes. No one's tracking back. It was like, that's come on, attack us. It's okay. Attack us. Have a go.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, it was. I did not get the second half at all. Like, to be honest, I did not get the substitutions at all. Like, Anthony Martial didn't offer anything,
Did you
right?
see Anthony's face when he'd been taken off? He looked pissed.
Yeah.
He
And
looked
Sancho
pissed
was
coming
actually
off.
the threat. The midfield, I didn't understand because it was a working midfield, to be honest, right? It was just the lack of fight, the lack of dog, the lack of grit. I mean, we had them for lunch, and to look at the when the 2-1 came in, and just 1 minute after, this is what I'm calling, like, never piss off the footballing gods, right? Don't go like, yeah, this is over, done and dusted. 2-0, we up. This is what I say. 2-0 is the most dangerous. What happened? Bruno came all the way free with Forrester. Instead of just chipping it, he used power, hit the crossbar, and then you see Wan-Bissaka follow through with the head, and the ball just doesn't want to go in. So by that moment, it was written in the stars. This was never going to be Manchester United's game, to be honest. Did we throw it away in the second half? Absolutely. Can we blame it on something? No, you can't. But what we can do is analyze that. I would put this on on Ten Hag, to be honest. His in-game management's been spot on, and we've been complaining that he doesn't rotate much. This time he overthought it and rotated instead of keeping the players that worked in the first half. Yeah, maybe he felt that they are getting into the game. Maybe I should put in some more defensive-minded players. But what is Weghorst offering you? What is Martial offering you? Why are you taking out the players that were working for you, that was posing a threat? For once, for Jadon Sancho, the stick that he's been getting, even us have been complaining about him. There's always been a player in Jadon Sancho. We know that. But now his confidence is up. He scored that beautiful penalty in the semifinals. He scored this beautiful goal. Why would you take him off? It does not make sense.
Yeah, I agree. Sancho got that pressure penalty in the semi-final, scores tonight, and we have criticized him, and the criticism was completely valid. We'll read my Night Mania comment in a second. It was valid. It was totally valid. But tonight, he's growing in confidence. So and obviously he's the kind of player, he's proven that he is of a weak mentality, kind of player that needs literally the arm on the shoulder, the empathy. He needs that. Okay, so give the lad his 90 minutes, then play it
Yeah.
out. Same with
Tommy,
Anthony.
Tommy, big up for
Give
sending.
Gander 90
Yeah.
minutes.
I'm just going to read out Tommy's tweet and Man United Media. Big up. I send you the link if you want to come and have a rant, have your say. Just want to say Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Anthony off. Change the whole right side. Bad idea. 100%. We sing from the same Spotify hymn sheet, to be honest. He then took off Sancho for Malaysia while moving Rashford to the left and Daly over to the right. Changes the whole left side. Yeah, 100%, mate. I kind of understood why he did it, like, to switch Daly to the left. But on the other hand, Man United Mania, that changed the game because, according to my opinion, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was racking up the frequent flyer points to be man of the match because he basically pocketed Perisic. He had Son on, he had his number, and they didn't get a sniff until
Yeah.
the shift the sides, right? So call a spade a spade. You got to call it for what it is. Okay, it's a 1 point, but it's an annoying point, right? We're still in the top 4 race, obviously, if you can see the table. But it's now where you have 6 games left. You don't play any Europa Leagues. You don't play any cup games. You're playing the finals against City. That's 1 month away or more, 6 weeks away. Now is the time not to relax and think about your holiday. Now is the time
Yeah.
to get over the line. I don't care if you crawl, walk on one leg, sprint, whatever. Just get the ball through the net. I don't care how we play, but just 3 points. 3 points, because now we're playing Sunday. If God forbid, if that match is still going on with the protests and everything, Aston Villa is not a joke, right? But on the
No,
other hand, Jay,
you got Watkins on Sunday in the form of his life.
Ollie
Form
Watkins
of his
is
life.
great.
Okay.
Big up, Tommy.
Form of his
Bad
life.
ideas, yeah. Football
Um,
Power Hour. Papi, where are you, sir? I send you the link. We miss you. We got a bit of that Arsenal bottle in us.
yeah, this
Yeah.
morning I was tweeting, slagging off Arsenal fans for Arsenal Fan TV losing the run themselves when they got top of the league. Thankfully, Mick, on this show, unlike other fan channels, we haven't lost the run of ourselves. We're
No.
realists here. That's why it's
That's
MUFC
it.
Realist TV. Like
Yeah, that's it.
we know where we are. We don't
Yeah.
have this lofty notion that players are better than they are, or Ten Hag is some panacea that's going to come
Mm.
in and completely change these players. There's weak-minded players in their squad
Yeah.
that have been
Yeah,
there since Solskjaer and are
they have it in
still
them.
there. It's
They have
in
it
them.
in them.
It's
It's in
and
them.
and and in that, right? It's clearly then, Mick, it's not in them to change their mindset. It's just not in them. Like, you worked for some very successful companies in your time. You've
Yep.
dealt with thousands of staff. You've been inside of
Yep.
how many HR meetings? There are certain staff that is just not in them. You can't
Nope.
polish a turd. And a lot of our
Nope.
players are turds.
Yep. No, but you're right. I mean, in 2 years' time, I don't see 7 of these players will not even be there. That's the way I see it. I know that our gaffer is brutal. Like, he doesn't like what he see. He's a perfectionist. But what he's supposed to do, the players that inherited, some people are singing hymn sheets about, are not good enough in terms of up here, right? Because we've seen it exactly 1 year ago. If you backtrack, if you rewind the tape, exactly the same thing happened last season. They were thinking about their holidays, what they're going to do, down tooling, packing everything
Yeah.
already, and just forgetting about the season. Yeah. You're thinking that, hang on, Spurs are having they sacked Stellini, they sacked Conte, they have injury to the goalkeeper, they had a lot of injuries, and that was clearly shown in the first half because they were clueless. They were there for the taking. We had this sword to slay them in the first half, but no. What happened in the first 10 minutes is maybe Ten Hag instructed them to go for it. But who was on the pitch that was just relaxed? I don't know. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Jay, being realist, it is 2-2 on the scoreboard. And we are not here to point fingers or anyone to say who's to blame, other than we can dissect this as much as we want to say that, yeah, it's
Yeah,
complacency, it's tired
I
legs.
hear you. But the subs are on one person, they're on the manager,
Yeah,
weakening the entire left hand side. That's on the manager.
yeah,
Leaving Sabitzer on the bench,
yeah.
that's on the manager.
Instead of
Taking off
taking,
Sancho, Anthony, that's on the manager. So I think we have to call it like it is tonight, Nick.
I got something here. Like, I'm tired of these players that you don't know what you're gonna get. I'm tired of these players having in this squad.
Forrest
Like,
Gump, maybe.
it's like Forrest Gump. Like, I always compare Fred. Sometimes I give him like my roses. I think he's amazing. And sometimes he just drops a stinker, right? He's like that Forrest Gump when he sits on the bench and he says, "My mama says life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get." Well, sometimes you get that yummy, I don't know what your preference is in that chocolate box, or sometimes you get that last piece of chocolate that nobody wants. And today, was that piece that nobody even wants to see from and just chuck it in the bin and this there to the next Christmas. I'm
Yeah.
so tired, Jay, of seeing those kind of players. Like, they're non-consistent players, to be honest. And this comes down to manager selection at the end of the day. If you had a world beater in terms of Sabitzer that is press resistant, that can play the game, I can understand that you're taking Fred instead of Ericsson, but Ericsson actually provided some decent fucking passing, to be honest. Sorry for swearing. But
No,
when
no,
you take
listen,
off,
don't apologize. Come on, I'm Irish. But yeah,
yeah,
listen,
yeah. But when you take off,
Ericsson came off because he was gaffed. He was
he
gaffed.
was gassed.
That's why he came off.
He was
But
gassed.
so okay, so you take off a technically proficient player with guile, poise, passing range, and football intelligence.
Yeah, but the midfield
You
was
can
shite.
you can replace him with A Fred or B Sabitzer.
Yeah,
I know who
but
you'd
what?
pick. You know who I'd pick.
But why would we pick a destroyer when their midfield was shite? You saw the first half; it was wide open, like open buffet. You know, you come to
Yeah,
a hotel Sheraton or whatever, say free buffet, come, and you just eat what you want, and you're full, and you go, I cannot eat anymore. I need to freaking have my nap, man. And this is what happened in the second half. They came up with full bellies, couldn't run anymore, and just like whatever, right? But their midfield was shite,
yeah,
honestly. But kudos to the new manager of Spurs who actually took in Dejan Kulusevski. Kulusevski for them changed the game, according to my
agreed.
opinion, right? So he provided a handful for our defense. And there was one point when I even wrote down on my notebook, Shaw was great in the first half. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was great in the first half. Bruno had a decent game, but you can clearly see that, yeah, he was nursing a knock. But the ball of the game, if I take one positive out of this, was that ball in the first half when he played it to Rashford. If Rash was on fire, why would you take him off from the middle and play Anthony? They didn't freaking offer anything. And
Yeah, I don't
Weghurst,
get it.
who hasn't
I
even
don't get it.
scored one Premier League goal in the league, to play what? In the midfield? Right? There was
Yeah,
okay. There was one ball when he was chasing, like, and it was, I think it was chasing Dan Kulusevski on the right flank and threw himself, right? Other than that, it was capitulation, to be honest. I and deep side, the deep patriot red in me, Jay, was thinking, we're gonna come back, we're gonna score 3-2. But when we missed that open clear cut goal with Bruno Fernandes, when it came clear with Forrester, that was like footballing gods. No, it's gonna be
when it
2-2.
went to 2-1, when it went to 2-1, I was like, oh no, it's going to happen again. It's going to
Yeah.
happen again. And like, if we sat here 12 months ago and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made those subs, the fan base would be losing their minds.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think Ten Hag, a lot of fans, he still gets free pass because a lot of fans buy into the narrative that's been propagated by other fan channels that, oh, the poor players can't play every 3.5 4 days, blah blah blah. I never buy into that narrative because they are professional athletes. It is their
Yeah,
job to perform. What?
guys.
Train in the morning for 2 hours, rest,
Yeah,
recover, have your meals cooked, have the backup of sports science department, physios, masseuses. You can't play a game for 90 minutes every three, four
literally.
days. I'm sorry, Mick. I think it's bullshit. I don't buy into that.
I don't either. Both you and me have been competing in body sculpturing, right? So we know that recovery can be done. But you older you get, the longer recovery time. But then it's also down to your physio stuff, right? Correct? But you can use the excuse that we played like 58 games in this season alone, where Spurs hasn't. But there's not excuse, right? Because you had enough rest from what, Sunday till Thursday, and now you're playing another game on Sunday. So I'm just worried. And some people know, I mean, there's going to be a protest. We know Glazer out protest on Sunday, organized by 1958. Some people are saying, oh, that might be called off. Maybe that's good for Manchester United so they get one more week of rest. But I'm not worried about Sunday, to be honest. We have a home game and we're quite good at home advantage. But away this season against the top four, top seven, it's been
Yeah, we've been shocking.
horrible, shocking, to be honest. It wasn't a win. It wasn't a loss. The positives in this for me was the first half, 100%. I felt like quite good. I went out for a break, took a coffee, updated the graphics here, thinking, yeah, good. We roasted the Spurs as a roast the Spurs, but now I changed it to bottle the Spurs because, Arsenal bottling it, you know, sponsoring by the Coca-Cola bottling company, and then we had Solly March sponsored by Fly Emirates, Fly Better. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Sol, the ball went all the way to the sun, Sol in Spanish, and then landed in Mars. But today was a flat face for Manchester United, basically. We gave their home crowd something to cheer up for, and that was a mistake. The 2-1 goal, woken up the crowd who was sleeping. You saw the camera panning in on the crowd. They were just, oh, it's happening again, right? Well, it happened to us again. Second half, 2-0 up. It is what it is. Bloody hell. Should we say we go again? This gives me vibes of last season of, the second half gave me that gut feeling of Solskjaer season where you don't know what you're going to get. Like, you're up 2-0 and this is going to go to 2-2 or 3-2.
Yeah, I would agree. It was definitely
Uh,
Solskjaer
but
vibe. It was like the
But on the
players'
other
second
hand,
half. Like, come
another
on, man.
interesting stat is if you look at stats, where Manchester United is up 1-0 in the first half, they don't lose the game. That's true. That's always been like that. But to lose a 2-0 to 2-2, I don't want to even see the socials. I don't want to see Twitter spaces because the Gooner fans are going to banter the shit out of us, to be honest.
And rightly so. And so they should. And we got to take it, accept it from them. Rightly
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I sent the link out to a lot of pundits to come on, but when you lose or draw, this is what you should be on. But don't only come in when we win, because at the end of the day, Jay, we are here to pick up the pieces. People are
Yeah.
watching. It's kind of a little bit of a therapy,
It is
but still,
so therapy, my friend. So therapy.
but it's still the PTSD still lives in all of us, and I think that PTSD live in half of that squad as well. The ones that got out of it is Rashford with his mental sign, right? But I believe this when didn't see Harry Maguire on the team sheet, that was a big sign, like, that Ten Hag is probably shipping him out, right?
Well, the club official propaganda is that he's
Injured.
injured. That's
Bullshit.
bullshit. That's
That's bull.
bullshit. That's the club saying, okay, we paid 80 million. We've got to get as much as we can for him in transfer window. cut
Yeah.
losses, take 40, 50 mil if he's on the bench, doesn't get any minutes. Our message is right. He's fifth choice. So the
Yeah.
story goes, it's put out that it's an injury. That's nothing more than a smokescreen by the club. That's all that is.
How many games are we playing Prem Leagues? We currently played 31. How many? Is it 38?
38, correct.
38. So we played 31. So we have 7 games to play. We're currently sitting on 60 points. And God, I had a wish to reach the 80 points tally, which we haven't received since big old Jose Mourinho. Jose, you know what I mean?
My
But
man, my
isn't it
man.
my man, my man? He was calling a spade, right? But is there anything positive that we can take away from this match today? It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a win. We're still in the race. It's there for us to decide, to be honest, right?
I'll take the centre back pairing of Shaw and Lindelof. There's a case tonight where Lindelof got booked. He stopped Harry Maguire, sorry, not
He had to.
Harry Kane on a possible counter attack. Normally, Lindelof isn't okay. Lindelof, he's not a big physical, imposing gentleman, and
Mm.
I've rarely seen him go in and manhandle a player to stop a counter
Oh,
attack.
yeah.
But
But
now
he
I
didn't get
feel
to turn around. He did not get turned around.
when he's beside Shaw now, he almost feels that he's got to step up and show some leadership. And I thought Shaw looked so solid, left centre back.
Yeah, he did.
Lindelof, he looks good. And but
Yeah.
that tackle on Harry Kane last season before, Lindelof doesn't make that tackle. He lets Kane run. For me, because I love defenders. I play as a defender, and with the young people I coach, I'm always focusing on the defenders. So for
Yeah.
me, that's my snap. I know the pass from Bruno was sublime. I get it, and Sancho scoring. But for me, Lindelof stepping up tonight and showing leadership skills.
Pedro
That's for me
Porridge.
tonight.
Sorry, I call him Pedro Porridge, but he was good. Pedro Porro. I
Porro,
call him
Porro.
Porridge. His goal and Richarlison, was it offside?
No,
Because he was
because
interfering.
he's
He was
in an
behind the hand.
opposition, but he's getting up off the ground. Therefore, he's not interfering in play. That would be the rule.
Hmm.
If he was standing in front of De Gea and blocking De Gea's vision, then he's interfering in play. But the fact that he's on the ground getting up, it's a goal.
Should Martial had a penalty?
No,
No, it was kicking through. Yeah.
no.
Um, the only positive for me was the first half, obviously. The man of the match, if we have to vote for the man of the match, I say they keep playing Lindelof, keep playing that centre back pairing because they were all right. Okay, they were all right. Keep playing Wan-Bissaka as well. I just don't understand why you took him off. I don't understand, Eric. I just
Yeah.
don't understand. That was the only positive. The rest is just they have to look themselves in the mirror. They have to. And we cannot have this inconsistency because this is you're footballers. I train, I lift heavy, so does Jay. But there's time for eating right, sleeping right, and recover and go again. You know, there's a time for cutting season, bulking season, but the bulking season hasn't yet begun. The bulking season starts when you're off not training. That's your off season. But now it's your on season, Jay. Now it's the time. You have what? 4 weeks left to competition. What you gonna do? You gonna
You
bottle it
should
or you
be
gonna
laser
sharp?
focused. My God.
Just final push. Final push. We see Marcus Rashford is getting into his mentality. We see Jadon Sancho is getting it. Some players are getting it. I don't want to go in the players, Jay, who's not got it. It's just a hunch. But I'm sure that Ten Hag will be furious today. I haven't seen the post-match interviews as of yet, but guys, this is going to be a short one, to be honest, Jay.
Yeah, definitely. I've had enough.
So, who was your man of the match from this game?
Basaka, no question.
Bisaka. Exactly, guys. Let us know in the
I
comments
got one
who
for you.
is.
I got one for you. Aaron I've used this before. I've used it in this channel. I used this one before.
Go ahead.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, I said. Obi-Wan Spider Legs. He's definitely should be picked up by Marvel Studios to do a what do you call it? A screening, advanced screening for Spider Legs, Spider-Man. It's called a TV show called Spider Legs. Jokes aside, Fred, I don't know. Check his passport again. I don't know what's going on. I think also Casemiro, he doesn't look like Casemiro. Casemiro looks tired, leggy. I don't know, tired. We saw Anthony Taylor was the referee, so he probably said, "Oh, I better keep to my best behavior," because last time he played, Taylor gave him a red card. So that's why we didn't say the aggression, according to my opinion, with Casemiro. I don't know. What do you think about that one? Am I delusional, or did you see the same?
I think there's credence to that statement, most certainly.
Yeah.
We've said previously in the show, I'm repeating myself, I know that he played 500 games in Europe before he came to United, never got sent off. Sent off twice in one season at United. So his tackling is not as feisty and rebuffed as what it was before last sending off for me.
I guess people, don't let the bed bugs bite you. Don't let this affect your mood. I know it's weekend coming up. We're playing another game on Sunday. It is what it is. It's a 1 point. What can we do? The score sheet says 2-2. Just get us over the line, Jay. Just get us over the line. Listen, guys, I have nothing more to say. I think I exhausted my rant tank. I was up this morning. I did a Glazed Out podcast. If you missed it, go check it out. I did it earlier with podcast number 3 regarding the Glazers takeover. But if you're around in Manchester, join the protest. 1958 is organizing. All the information is there. I personally won't because I'm far away. And I cannot travel because of family reasons. But guys, like and subscribe. This has been Mick Ruby, and as usual, the brilliant Jay Daly, calling a spade a spade. Jay, have a good evening and talk to you later.
You too, my friend. Sleep well. Good night.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Release TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.